Today is August 7th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by the Bob Ramsey, the traveling Bob Ramsey. Would like to note he is not the one driving at the moment, as he is currently navigating his way through the United States of America. Rammer, hello, how are you?
Well, I'm doing okay, Joe. We're wrapping things up. We're eastbound and down somewhere in the middle of Nebraska.
Are you coming through Nebraska, Iowa, Nebraska? Which direction are you driving through right now?
We're going east, and then we're going to, at Lincoln, turn south and head into Missouri.
Okay, very nice. So you don't have to go through Kansas at any point. One of the worst drives possible, going from Colorado to St. Louis all the way through Kansas.
You know, over the years, I've gotten to where I appreciate Kansas. I have still to learn that appreciation for the great state of Nebraska.
I've gone through Nebraska once. I've gone through Kansas once. I remember being miserable through Kansas, so I think I would go the northern route instead. Last night, Cardinals get a victory, a much needed victory over the Tampa Bay Rays, 4-3. Few things to talk about from that game. The bright spots, though. Victor Scott II gets his first major league home run and has hit the ball a little better since returning to the Cardinals, just in 2 games now since he's been back here. But hopefully his time down in Memphis and taking a little bit of the pressure off of him from when he debuted with the Cardinals to start the year is a fresh start that he needed back up here on the big league club.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And we lose Rammer right away as, there we go. Now we got you back.
Yeah, he admits that he was being stubborn and finally realized he was going to have to change his batting stance, and that it was paying off for him. Then he hits the home run. So that's good. They still need the offensive help, which is very frustrating to me, especially when, you're at a point now where, you're over 500, you're within 10 games, so you still have a shot. But does this feel like a team that could go on a miracle run like they did a few years ago? It doesn't feel that way right now, does it?
It doesn't, and I don't know. I guess offensively, I kind of look at it as you have what you have. They didn't go out and make any huge moves at the trade deadline for offense. They got Tommy Pham, who's been a nice spark at times so far, with a couple home runs and a couple extra base hits. But they didn't go out and get a big bat. But I think you could also argue, if you look around the rest of Major League Baseball, who did go out and get a big bat at the trade deadline. I don't know if there were big bats to be traded all around baseball. So I think you can kind of look at that and say, you know what, getting Tommy Pham was probably the best the Cardinals could do.
Well, I think it was better than that. I think it was a good deal. It was terribly disappointing in Fedde's first outing. So I'm hopeful. I'm not trying to write it off as a bad deal because of that one start. However, Michaelis and Palante don't seem like they're really very competitive right now. I don't want to overstate it and ride the highs and lows on a win and a loss, but they just don't seem very competitive to me. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think we're getting spurts of them. We'll get, and we've seen this with both. We've seen the Andre Palante that can go 6 innings and allow 1 run. We've seen Miles Michaelis that can go 7 innings and allow 1 run. So we've seen the little bits of greatness out of both of them. But overall, no, they're not guys I would want in my playoff rotation at the moment. That's kind of
and at the moment, you don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. The Cardinals will try to improve on that tonight as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays again. Game 2 out of 3 for the series. Taj Bradley goes for the Tampa Bay Rays. The Cardinals will once again have Erick Fedde on the mound, making his second start with the Cardinals. And I wonder this too. I didn't catch this, and remember, we really haven't talked much since Erick Fedde's last start. But I wonder how much nerves were around that first start that he had up in Chicago to start that series that Friday afternoon. and how much familiarity there was there. I didn't realize that when he got traded back on the day before the trade deadline on June or July 30th, he didn't join the team for 2 days until they actually made it to Chicago. He stayed up in Chicago. He was traded from the White Sox. He stayed there at his home in Chicago and then just met up with the team when they started in Wrigley and then pitched the very next day. So now he's been with the team for a full week. He's been around them. He's kind of acclimated himself to the Cardinals clubhouse, and now he gets a start here at Busch Stadium tonight. So I wonder how much of that at the big league level, Rammer, do you think that matters in some cases?
It can, but at this point in the season and in your position, attaboys don't do that much.
Right.
And okay, we'll shake off the jitters. You came in here to be at worst, the second best pitcher on the roster. So I think tonight is a real challenge for him to be great. He's got to.
The Cardinals will go with this lineup behind Erick Fedde in tonight's game. Mason Wynn leads off. He's at short. Alec Burleson at first base tonight. Wilson Contreras, Brendan Donovan in left. Nolan Arenado at third. Lars Nootbaar in right. Matt Carpenter DHs. Nolan Gorman at second. And Victor Scott II is in center field. So that is 6 left-handed bats in the lineup tonight for the Cardinals. We do not have a lineup at the moment for the Tampa Bay Rays. I mentioned Taj Bradley starting tonight for the Rays, and I'm just real quick here. When I see Rammer 6 lefties in the lineup and the Cardinals going as far as to giving Paul Goldschmidt a night off, as I'm bringing them up here, and I'll let you kind of talk too as I bring up the numbers, I'm going to guess the splits on Taj Bradley are incredibly one-sided.
Well, as far as Goldie goes, we were hopeful a week or so ago that he was going to get back to being himself. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I think they had to make this lineup tonight. Regardless of the splits, I think they had to.
Against lefties this year, Taj Bradley is allowing an OPS of 652. Against righties, it's 536. So only an 80-point difference. Nothing just outrageously different between that, but the Cardinals are going heavy left-handed. And I guess more so to the point of not so much giving Goldie a night off, also giving Tommy Pham a day off too, with how much of a spark he's provided to this team.
Yeah, that one does surprise me a little bit. If you look at his numbers since he's been with the club, I don't normally say ride a guy till failure, because that means you managed him to failure. That's not your job. Your job is to keep everybody producing. But when you're desperate, sometimes you got to do that. So in a way, I might tip my cap to Ollie saying, stay the course and don't panic. And maybe that's what we're looking at tonight.
The Cardinals come in 2 games over 500. Same with the Rays, both playing very competitive baseball at the moment. I mentioned earlier, and as I hit refresh, we do have a Rays lineup for you tonight. And it will look like this. Yandy Diaz at first, Brandon Lowe at second, Christopher Morel DHs, Josh Lowe is in right field, Dylan Carlson in left, Jose Siri in center, Jose Caballero is at short, Curtis Mead at third, and Alex Jackson is behind the plate for the Rays. So Dylan Carlson batting fifth, getting his first start, was not in the lineup last night for the Rays, but he will start tonight and hopefully gets a really nice ovation from the Cardinal fans tonight. By the way, school's not in session tonight. Temperatures have dropped down into the lower 80s, upper 70s, and you get a chance to see the Cardinals' big trade line acquisition. Busch Stadium should be a decent crowd tonight. I don't care about the record that they're not in a playoff position right now. Take the kids out to the ball game tonight before you head back to school. It's a nice weather night tonight here in St. Louis.
Well said, Joe. I wish I would be there. That would be fun. And as far as Dylan Carlson goes, I hope he does really well. Maybe not tonight or tomorrow, but I hope he does. I hope he's able to find himself and finally show the talent that he had when the Cardinals drafted him. I'm rooting for the guy.
Hit a home run over the weekend for the Rays in their last series. But, yeah, I hope he gets a really great ovation tonight, and then I hope he hits the absolute shit out of the ball starting Thursday. So that is my hope.
Yeah.
That is my hope for Dylan Carlson the remainder of the season with the with the Rays moving
I
forward.
agree.
Yeah, I would imagine Ryan Helsley unavailable tonight. He struggled a little bit again last night in the game. That's kind of been the story of the second half a few times for him, and kind of leading into the end of the first half for him as well. So hopefully Ryan Helsley takes a day off today and figures that out too over the for the stretch run for the Cardinals. I don't think it's a matter of overuse for him right now. I think it seems like there's something being picked up on him with a few of his pitches.
Well, his bottom line is still terrific. So I think if you get in a safe situation, unless he is fatigued, then I still got to go to him. His numbers across the season are marvelous. I'm like you don't ignore a recent past, but this team is so desperate for wins again. You can't be in the traditional dog days of August. Let's just survive. You got to start winning now.
A few stories from around baseball, Rammer. First and foremost, it was announced, or I don't know if it's officially been announced, but the reports are the Braves and the Reds will be playing at a neutral site in 2025, one of the neutral site games. A far different venue from the Cardinals and Giants going to Rickwood Field this past year. The Braves and Reds will be playing at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. A NASCAR track in Bristol, Tennessee. I don't know how you fit a baseball field in there, Rammer, but I'm fascinated to see. I know they've put a football field in there before, so I know it's possible, but fascinated to see what baseball will look like there and what the seating will be like there.
I'm only interested if they play the game during a race.
Ooh. Now, okay, so when they played the football game there, they were able to fit the entire football field inside the infield. And they put the stands on the outside, obviously, for that. You could put a race going, you could have a race going on in there. Yes, that's very possible.
Yeah, that's the only way I'm interested. So a guy's ready to make a pitch or catch a fly ball, and the car crashes and does a pinwheel. Stuff's blowing up, noise. If we're going to make a circus out of the game, let's go for it. Quit pussyfooting around. If we're going to make it a circus, go for the circus.
Speaking of a circus, the White Sox won their first game last night. Not so much. So they won their first game since July 10th. They were on a 21-game losing streak. The All-Star game came and went. They had not won a game since the All-Star break. Rammer, and to make it even worse, their win back on July 10th came as one of those wins. They split a doubleheader that day. So yesterday was the first time the White Sox won a baseball game and did not lose since July 5th. Over a month of baseball came and went where they won a baseball game, and that was all they did. They did not lose a baseball game yesterday for the first time since July 5th. That is that is one of the, I think, longest streaks in all of baseball of going without winning a baseball game, and that's it.
It's really horrific.
Yeah.
You can't sugarcoat it at all. It's just an absolute unmitigated disaster.
It is. And you feel bad for the players because, I mean, they're not out there trying to lose. I mean, those are major league professional baseball players that are just in probably one of the worst situations they've ever been in their lives.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad Fedde and Pham and DeYoung got out of there.
Yeah. By the way, A's did it to themselves last night. Prior to the game, when the White Sox came in with a 21-game losing streak, it was reported that the A's, the Oakland Coliseum, was playing Taylor Swift's 22 prior to the game during batting practice. So the A's jinxed themselves, and an organization like that shouldn't be doing stuff like that and taunting with the baseball gods.
I'm not sure I get it.
It would have been their 22nd loss in a row.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, Yeah, they were on a 21-game losing streak, and they're playing Taylor Swift's 22 throughout the stadium. Yeah.
And you're no good either.
Yeah, you poked the baseball gods, and you can't do that, and they made you pay for that last night. Rammer, we are brought to you each and every day here on Daily Cards Live by our friends at Munganess St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks in Missouri. I'm in Nebraska, but I know as soon as I get home, Royal Banks is there for me. In fact, they follow me wherever I go on the Royal Banks mobile app. Give them a call, 314-212-1500, or go online to royalbanksofmo.com. Royal Banks, for better service means better banking.
He is Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you again tomorrow for Cardinals and Rays Game 3. And we'll be doing that right here, once again, on Claves Online. Talk to you tomorrow.
Munganess St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX. So that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.